Welcome to the WHHI-TV Daily News Weekend Edition. I'm Betsy McDaniel, and we have a lot in store for you today. But to kick things off, Jeff LaRue with the Beaufort Jasper Water Sewer Authority is here, and we are here to talk about cold weather because it's a little bit setting in here in the Lowcountry.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't like to talk about cold weather, but
No.
It peeks its head in once in a while.
Just once in a while, but usually we don't get any snow or ice or anything too crazy, so we'll
Can't believe you said the S word.
I know. We'll keep our fingers crossed for that. But so let's talk a little bit about some things we should do to be prepared and to prevent any pipes breaking or any bad stuff when that does come in.
Yeah, when the cold starts to set in, this is a reminder to be prepared for true cold snaps that do happen here in the Lowcountry once in a while.
Once in a while.
Yeah. So we've got some tips, and those tips really start out with a recommendation that anybody who is old enough to be left at home alone know where the shutoff valve is for their house in case a pipe breaks. They can go out, shut that off. Usually that's at the curb near the meter under a little curb box lid, and people can go out and just turn that off. But everybody should know where that is if they're ever going to be left at home alone. And then do kind of a home checkup for your water system with the cold. At this time of year, shut off and drain any outside faucets. You may want to cover them with one of these faucet protectors that are available at any hardware store. Prevent drafts in unheated areas like crawl spaces and garages, things like that.
Yeah.
And then have supplies like these and heat tape and insulation on hand in case you need them and the cold really does set in. And I'll explain some of these in just a moment.
In a little bit more detail. And so when you say that things like prevent drafts, what are we looking for that would cause a draft? Is it something that's a window that's broken or what kind of
a
things?
lot of times the things we see are cracks in crawl space vents or open crawl space vents or broken windows in a garage.
Okay, very good, makes sense. And so normally we don't necessarily get down under 20 degrees, but on occasion we do get pretty cold. And so the things that you're talking about are kind of general maintenance when we're kind of in our cold snap that happens every year. But if it were to get really cold, let's talk about the additional steps that you need to take. And I think some of those are some of our visual aids that are kind of lend themselves to that.
Right, and some of these are kind of a set it and forget it thing.
Yeah.
Our houses just aren't built to withstand the cold, and our water lines tend to be exposed a lot more than happen up north. But these are actually the water pipes that are seen in most of our homes these days. This carries the hot water, this carries the cold water or the supply line into your hot water heater. We recommend that, especially if this is exposed, buy some of this cheap pipe insulation. You can buy 5 and 10 foot sections for about $2. Slip it over, especially your cold pipes, and help prevent them from freezing up. And if it does become really cold, we recommend you just let a faucet drip. That keeps the water moving in the system. It can be a drip. It can be about the size of a pencil lead. It's just enough to keep it warm enough. Now,
that's inside.
That's inside.
Okay.
And that just keeps the water flowing and just warm enough to keep it from freezing.
Yeah.
Now, if it does freeze, we recommend you open a nearby faucet all the way and use a hair dryer or some heat tape. And this is heat tape. This is available. I like to think of it as an electric blanket for your pipes.
Love that.
You can use this in advance of a cold spell, but if you have a frozen pipe and you know where the freeze is, just wrap this around, you plug it in, it'll heat it up slowly. Do not use a plumber's torch or anything like that because you're going to damage your plumbing with that.
Okay.
If this or the hair dryer don't work, it's probably time to call a plumber.
Okay. And how do we know, we only have about 40 seconds left, but how would we know that it was frozen?
Well, first of all, you're not going to have water service at a nearby faucet, and to find the frozen portion, a lot of times it's going to be in the blue side, and a lot of times you can tell where it gets cold.
Feel. Yeah. And again, 20 seconds left. If a pipe does burst, we've turned off the water. What do we do next?
Probably turn off the water, stop the flow of the water, stop the damage to your home, and call a plumber is the easiest thing to do.
Okay. Well, Jeff, thank you for being here. Excellent tips, and thank you for sharing those great little gadgets that I knew nothing about until today. So I appreciate that very much, and I'm sure our viewers do as well. And we will be back with a lot more, so don't go away.